All right, good evening, everybody. Let's change that filter. That chroma key is a little off there. Let's have a look. Looks fine, and then you hit the go live button, and of course it doesn't. So let me just adjust that because we don't want to see a flickering background, right? We don't like flickering backgrounds. How is everybody doing? If you celebrated the holidays, I hope it's going well. I hope you're having fun with it. Let's tweak that just a little. Of course, now it's got my forehead is all shiny, but sorry. I think that's a little better. I gotta figure out this chroma key thing. Uh, I don't know. Maybe it's a matrix thing. All right, how's everyone doing? Hope you're having a good one. We are looking at SpriteKit again here today, and I noticed a weird thing just happened. So I'm just gonna run it again here. Oh, hang on. Actually, I think I know what the weird thing might be. I did add a 3D asset here, which did not go well. I did model a ship like I said I was going to do. And so, hey, there you go. My own treasury. How you doing, buddy? How's it going? I modeled a ship in Blender just to play around with Blender. And then I wanted to bring it in to SceneKit here. And I don't think I got it quite right for the whatever it was, a couple of hours that I was spending working on Blender. I think it's the export. But when I ran this just now, I did hit a bug. So didn't have a bug last time. Isn't that always the way it goes? So let's just see what happens here. I'm going to let it run for a second. Okay, there it is. Now, this was not doing this last time. Why is it you upgrade Xcode and then suddenly weird shit starts to happen? Like, I'm sure this is a genuine bug, but it wasn't here last time, I swear. So, I don't know. We'll see. How's everyone doing? I am getting back into the swing of things here. Still on vacation from the day job, but doing lots of other things, of course. There we go. Okay, that's what I wanted. So, unexpectedly found nil while unwrapping an optional value. I swear it didn't do this last time we ran it, right? And I got my coffee here, so this is gonna help me figure this stuff out. Actually, you know what? I think the chroma key issue may be that there's a slight green tint to my walls in my office, and I wonder if that light's bouncing back in. So I was not expecting this bug, which is a pain, because what I want to do in this session, not only get back into things here, but I also want to have some fun. And my own treasury gave me the idea for this. Want to have a little bit of a look at particle effects for some special effects, like an exploding ship. But I guess I got this bug now. Here's the thing. This was work. Correct me if I'm wrong, everybody, but this was absolutely working last time I ran this. And I haven't touched nothing. I don't think I did. Other than adding a sprite, but... And it's not going to like this, right? Yeah, that I expected. Value of optional type SK3D node must be unwrapped to a value of... actually, hang on. I know what the problem is. I think I did change something. What? After I just told you I didn't change something, I think I did. Because I wanted to try and get the 3D ship working, and nah. So hold on, bear with me a second here. I think what happened was, yeah, boom, that one right there. That, I think, is the problem. So actually, I'm just going to comment this out, and I think what I did, this add ship function is not working yet. Yeah, so let's back this out. We will definitely start to make the graphics look a little fancier, because I think that's what we should do, right? But what I'm going to do is I'm going to back all this out from here, and I'm going to revisit this 3D model, is what that is there, at a future time. So I think we're good. Let's check it. Going to jump back. Let's see. Going to jump to my laptop. Hard to see you. See you soon. Good luck, buddy. I don't know if you mean like you want to see me clear on the laptop. That might be a bad thing. I don't know. You may wish to not see me. All right. This now, of course, the challenge is got to hit something. You watch. It's going to be on the other side. Oh wait. There you go. Okay, right. We are back to where we were. Fantastic. Okay, let's look at what we want to do here. So we're lucky. We are all blessed and thankful because My Own Treachery knows some stuff about SpriteKit and SceneKit and particle effects. And I think that's what we should do. But I don't want to jump ahead. If they're switching machines, I don't want to jump ahead and beat them to it. But I do need to do a little research here. So I'm going to pull up the browser here. We're going to do SpriteKit particle effects. Creating particle effects. Sound like a good start? Sounds like a good plan, right? And hopefully I had a little bit of a shuffle of the deck of some cables and that. So if there's any issues with any audio or anything, please, anyone, let me know. Appreciate that. All right. Creating particle effects. Create emitters with the particle emitter. All right. Most cases, you'll never need to configure an emitter node directly in your game. Instead, you use Xcode to configure an emitter node's properties. As you change the behavior of the emitter node, Xcode immediately provides you an updated visual effect. When complete, Xcode archives the... Okay, so... How to load a particle effect that was created by Xcode. All particle effects are saved using Coco's standard archiving mechanisms. So the code first creates a path to the smoke effect and then loads the archive. Okay. Configuring particles in code. That's probably the route we're going to go. Okay. Remember using Xcode to create particle. See, add a particle emitter to your project. Yeah, let's start there. Okay. My Own Treachery, thank you. Glad you got back with create a new file and scroll down to find particle. Oh, look at that. Beautiful. Thank you. We're gonna follow the expert here. So I'm gonna create a new file. I'm gonna look for a particle effect. SpriteKit particle. You know, this might actually be a lot easier than I've been. Okay, let's think. So let's do. Let's do fire. No, no, wait. We're gonna play with this a little. So yeah, okay, you know what? Let's just start with a spark, something simple, right? We're going to call this uh, particle spark because that's what it is. Ooh, pretty. Oh, this is fantastic. I love the visual interface for this. Coco Type. Hello, Coco Type. How you doing, buddy? How's your holidays going? Uh, Possibly again. I never saw my message come through, and I'm in an internet wasteland. You must be in America. So America feels like internet wasteland. My own treachery. I love this visually seeing it, tweaking it, because I was fearful I might have to do a bunch of stuff in code. So this is great. And ooh, look at that. I can tap and move it around. Wow, that's awesome. Rural America, no less. Well, good luck. Just remember, just get that balloon really high in the sky, Coco Type, with the Wi-Fi antenna attached to it, and you're good to go. Maybe hang your phone off of a balloon, let it float up, hotspot. Don't know. Complete side note here, but you mentioned rural America. Um, I was it must be Christmas, must be near the New Year because I got the push bike out today in the garage and was servicing it, ready to pretend like I'm going to get fit next year. Right, got to do that because Okay, particles. Oh look, actually, so even after you've done it, ooh, uh, wait, are these? Oh, look at this. Okay, so that's awesome. Hmm. So I can actually choose my player sprites to be the particles by the look of it. My own oh wait, gotta catch up on the chat. Sorry everybody. Uh Phone's hanging in the window and hot spotting off that. Oh my gosh, I was joking, but you know what, buddy? I've been there. So mine was on the window ledge of a hotel one time when I was traveling for business. No, that was freaky. Uh, okay, my own treasury. It's great having it update in real time. Adding it to the game scene requires a bit of code, though. Of course, there had to be some code somewhere, right? I think what I want to do is let's have a game plan. When the rocket hits the ship, let's just play with this. When the rocket hits the ship and they disappear, we'll have a particle explosion sort of thing start there, right? So we need something with a bit of meat to it like that. Um, I'm guessing in here somewhere is something along the lines of uh oh whoa. Okay. Oh, you know what? So you could scale, you could start the scale at 1 and then bring it down. Okay, all right. Look at me getting ahead of myself and all cocky here like I'm actually know what I'm doing. Rotation none, color blend is fine. Ramp. So what I don't want is any gravity effect. Let's have a look. So acceleration. I set that to 0. Perfect. Okay. Uh, I'm wondering, my own treachery. I'll take your advice on this. What do you think? Just leave it like this and dive into the code of getting it on the screen, and then I guess you can come. I can just come back and tweak this file later on, right? So, what are your thoughts? Do you think it's easier to just say, go with this for now, get your particle on the screen, be happy, and then take it from there? Boy, there's a lot of options in here. I wonder if you can stack them. Oh, well, I guess you stack the emitters, right? Do you want it as an explosion? Yeah, I think the end goal would be, nothing, explosion, fade away, right? Pretty quickly. Um, but based on what I'm thinking here and my complete lack of knowledge and thankfully your help here, I'm wondering if I need to just get okay, let's just ship and bullet collide, or the attacker and the missile collide. Let's just get the particle to load up on the screen there and appear. Take that as an early win, and then move it on from there. Um, I'm sure either programmatically or something here there's that I can do to sort of have that fight, the explosion effect. I'm confident with that, but I'm wondering if I start simple and just get this to appear on the screen in the game first. See, I almost feel like without getting overly complicated here, right? So you start with nothing. So, you'll go to something like this, and then you'll have that, and then I guess you can sort of slowly ramp it down. Well, quickly ramp it down. So the scaling effect there would probably take care of that, unless there's some kind of timeline thing here. But I don't see anything like that. Not yet, anyway. But let's give this a name. So we'll just call it explosion. Oh, really? Hidden return makes it go weird? Why won't it take the name? Am I making it explosion? Am I making it unhappy? I guess maybe I am. Let's. Okay, so we've got the particle effect. Where is it in the? Oh, there it is. Okay, I need to move that into there. Funny, you think it would be in the assets, but okay. All right, let's do this. Okay, so we've got our particle emitter, right? We don't need any of that. Um, so we have a function here that returns the new one. Okay. Oh, what's going on there? Okay, there you go. Sorry, my streaming software was going weird. All right. Oh, look at that shine on my forehead. Oh my gosh. Sorry, folks. Getting old. What can I tell you? I had to start sort of patting it down so it doesn't. Or maybe if I just even my arm's gone green. Yeah, it's definitely the reflection of. There's a slight tint from the wall. That's what it is. I've come up after experiment with that in the week. All right. Oh my gosh, it looks terrible. Okay. And the funny thing is, because of my screens, I sort of have to tilt my head back, which makes it look even worse. Ah, that's why I always wear a hat on stream. I know. I assumed that that's why you was wearing a hat, Coco type, and I normally do the same, but I don't have one here. And uh, you know what? I'm getting real conscious about that flare now. Hang on 1 second. I'm gonna grab it. I'll be right back. Documentation makes it seem harder than it is. That's the Apple way, right? All right, there we go. Now we're better. Oh, hey, at least I didn't wear a green t-shirt. I very nearly did, without even thinking about it. All right, let's try. Okay, you know, copying and pasting things in never fails. So, uh, we'll change the name as we go here. All right, so let's go back to here. Let's add a new. By the way, in case anyone doesn't know this, just doing that mark with the line is what puts the line on the screen, as well as the line up here, in case anyone didn't know. All right, so we're going to mark this as, let's call it visual effects. Hope the volume's okay, by the way, let me know. And then we're just going to paste this in, but we'll have new explosion emitter. Going to return an SK emitter node, and the one it's going to return is my one, which is particle spark. And I hope that you're not getting any low thumping through the back through the microphone, because it is attached to the same desk today. So let me know. I'm all about trying. If I can't get the code right, I can at least try and get the quality of the stream right. Okay. Not unhappy so far. All right, so had to load a particle effect that was created by Xcode. All particle effects are used. All right, but of course it's never that simple, right? When a particle is created, its initial property values are determined by the properties of the emitter. Fantastic. So it should go with what we've got in the file, right? Blah, 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 but we can change them. Great. That's what we're going to do. But do I just scale it and everything like I normally would? Right? So so they collide up here, and then do we no, use the file itself to set all the properties. Oh, okay. So it's just going to import all of the scaling and everything else in there first. Oh, okay. Hold on. Maybe I misunderstood. But the X and Y, for example, I mean, they're not, we don't want to set those in the code, right? So let's do this. Let's call our thing here. I'm assuming I'm going to have to add it to the scene once it's done its thing. So we're going to remove those there. Oh, yeah. Okay. I get it. There you go. No, it's unused. Yeah. Okay. Oh, actually, you know what? That is not what I want to do. Right? Surely that's what I want to do. Yeah, yes, I know. And then is it going to be a child? I wonder. No. Must be unwrapped. All right. Yeah, let's live dangerously. Let's force unwrap it because, you know. Explicit use of self, enclosure, use self to make capture symmetric. You can tell I haven't written code for a while, right? Okay. Oh, sorry. All you need to worry about is adding it to the scene and setting its position. Perfect. That is all I do want to worry about. That's enough for me to handle. You can make it a child of your other nodes, and it should pick up the position for free. Oh, good point. Good point. Wait. But that's going to cause a complication with the order. I could make it a child of the attacker, gives me the right location, but then if I do that, I will have to make sure to remove it from the parent of the, which will be the attacker, because as soon as I remove the attacker, won't all the child nodes automatically disappear with it as well? Makes sense, right? I think so. I think that's right. Let's try this. I think I messed up. I think that was that was me. Hang on. I think I've added it to the wrong thing. Let's take those. Yeah, I added it to see. I was testing you all. I added it to the -1. There is another safer and easier way to do it if you want the code. Please feel free. Yeah. I like the word safe. Easy is good, but safe is better. Please do. I actually added it in the wrong position there. So I should have done it up here. Let's see. I'm just going to put it there for right now. Gonna wait and see this code from my own treachery. All right, let's take a look. This is why I love you all in the chat room, by the way. Okay. I'm gonna have to drop out early tonight. My window internet is not cooperating. Thank you, Coca Type. Have a good one, buddy, and we'll send you some extra internet bandwidth. Appreciate it. Have a safe one. Okay, if let spark effect equals sk emitter node file named particle spark. Oh, spark effect position equals attacker position. Oh, beautiful, beautiful, fantastic. I love that. Thank you, my own treachery. All right, let me see if I can copy this without completely killing off all my machines. Copy. How's this for live coding? All right. Let's go down here. Love that. If let's spark. So you're gonna put that. Okay. Let's. Now I'm thinking. Oh, so you're saying don't even bother with the function, just do it in line in there. Okay. Let's do that then. Okay. Well, now, assuming that I'm interpreting it correctly, though, wouldn't you really want to have it in separate functions to tweak it and possibly do other stuff with it later on, right? Does that make sense? So I get that you're saying put it in line, but if I put it in here, so if let explosion effect equal yada 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 yada. Explosion effect position equals the attacker position. The spark effect. See, dope. the Z being 10 to bring it up on top. I get that. And then add the child of explosion. All right. So I'm going to take what you've got and maybe play around with it a little bit. Yep, you could do, yes. Remove the return and remove the closure. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking, right? So we can set this to void at this point, right? I mean, there's not even going to be any. I think I got a couple of errors here, of course, because I didn't do that right. Okay, explosion effect dot position equals the attacker dot position, and then explosion effect Z position equals yada yada yada. Consecutive statements on. Oh, see that there you go. Now the build fouled because I'm pretty sure I got to fix something up here. Yeah, I don't think I need. Let's get rid of these. Right. Let it clean itself up. And now we just call new explosion. Actually, let's simplify it. We don't even need to call it a new explosion. And now back up here on the right one this time, I'm gonna have to put it before these because it's not going to work otherwise. Because it'll try and get a position that won't be there because those will have been removed. Or it'll take the wrong position because it'll take the one at the top. All right, let's try this awesome code here. Thank you, my own treachery. Love that. Now all I got to do is score a point. The easy bit, right? I I think subconsciously it's just trying to avoid me. Okay, perfect. Oh, now this would be funny because we haven't done the remove or the life cycle of the particle yet. I wonder if I can keep them stacking. Yeah. Oh, look, way to kill your frame rate, right? Beautiful. Okay. So that's that. Fantastic. Now, next step. Uh before we get into tweaking the visual effect, I think we now need to say, okay, after X amount of time, make that sucker go away, right? So we've got our new explosion. I feel like everything should be encapsulated in here. So I can just say, boom, new explosion, yank, boom, gone, right? And takes care of itself. So I wonder, is there a some kind of timing functionality I can take advantage of here? Uh, I'm wondering also if maybe I can run a sequence. Don't really want to run a sequence though, but I feel like there should be a way to control this over time, right? Okay, when a new particle is created, scale effect is from random. So, for example, if a particular particle started the average value of 0.3, it would decrease from 0.3 to a period of 3 seconds. Okay, so that's the life cycle of within the particle. Yeah. For the node, could do an SK action wait for duration 4 to 5 seconds. Worth a try, right? So let's do it that way. So let's do Okay, so let life cycle action equal an SK action. And I gotta look this up here because it's been a while. Okay. Oh, fade out. I wonder if I could just have it fade out, and then that would be nice actually. That would save some hassles. Or unless I want to have the burn effect and then it goes away. Or let's start with the simple one for duration time interval of let's do 1 second, right? Is it going to be 1 second or is it going to be, is it milliseconds? No, probably not, right? So then we're going to say explosion effect, run the action, which of course is our life cycle action. Probably like 1 millisecond or something silly. One hour. Let's see. Did I? Okay, it's gonna run it. And then, you know what? Let me reference this down here because I don't think I got it right. And I definitely did not mean to do that. Okay, so let's just put this down here for reference. Okay, explosion effect. Run this, and then just in case we need one, let's have a completion where we'll essentially have it remove itself. Sorry. See if we get there. Let's start there. That's always my first question is, are we even getting here? We are. Okay, good. Let's think. So we'll do some fancy stuff with the programming of the effect and the explosion and timing and everything else. But let's start by removing the child, right? So self dot, oh, actually, sorry, explosion effect dot remove actually I think it should be remove from parent. Ugh. Run it. Of course it's going to be way. I'm not going to get there. Okay, fantastic. Now, okay, that was going to be my next thing was please tell me I get another one though. Okay, beautiful. I wonder if I put okay, so let's go back here. And. and the birth rate I want to after. Let's see. All right, particle birth rate. So at the end of it, can I do it this way? Explosion effect dot particle birth rate equals 0. I get it. There's probably going to need to be a pause there or something because it's going to happen too quickly, but I want to see if it actually respects it. Do this. So I'm going to temporarily disable that one. Instead of removing it, I want to see if the birth rate drops to 0. Okay, fantastic. So we don't want it to do that. Let's sequence these things out. Sweet. Now we just have to design the emitter. Yeah, beautiful, right? Fantastic. And my own treachery, this is all due to you, buddy. Thank you. I can share my settings in the image file if you'd like. Please feel free. If it'll let you put them in the chat, please feel free. I almost feel like some of this maybe that I'm doing here should be done in here. No, but I'm not sure. Maybe it's better in code because I can tweak it right here and then I can change it based on various things. Like maybe there's a slow-mo or something like that. Jump into the file and we can design it. Let's do it. All right. It's only a couple of numbers. Oh, and by the way, you mentioned last time about, your son was saying about making them a game. Have you been working on that? Tell me about that as well. All right. Birth rate 1000, max 200. Birth rate 2000. Sorry, 1000. Oh, sweet. Okay, I get it. So the max is essentially kills it off, right? Okay, so I understand. Got it. Yeah, lifetime. I've been a little bit. Yeah, it's hard because of the idea he has. I think they call that challenge. Lifetime 2.5. Okay, lifetime. So wait, is that start 0 and then 2.5? Am I misunderstanding that? Sorry, start 1 and then range 2.5, or just lifetime start 2.5? So, thank you. All right. Range 0, got it. Oops. I used Spark texture. Okay. All right. Nice. Yeah. I'll use Spark as well. That's good. All right. So I should get rid of that. I should put that back because you've now nailed it over here. All right. Any others? I think that's looking pretty good. Let's try that. Let's see what we got here. settings I used were for the fire. Sorry. Oh, for the firing of the missile. That's all right. That's cool because I feel like we should be doing some stuff there as well. I was actually wondering about adding a particle effect. Can't even say it to the tail of the missile as well. So I'm sure we're gonna have a whole bunch of these. Oh, look at this! Fantastic. Maybe we just leave the ship graphics alone. People will be so woo. No, I mean when you make the file, I chose file. Oh, okay, got it. Okay, sorry. All right. Still, that doesn't look bad, right? I think that's looking pretty awesome. Thank you, sir. Pretty sure it is, sir. Right? Correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure. All right. Wow. You know what? This is this is actually we've achieved here thanks to you, my own treachery. Thanks to you, we've achieved this a lot quicker than I had anticipated. This is fantastic. Uh, I mean, when you make the file, I chose file. Yeah. Okay. Got it. All right. Fantastic. So we have our explosion effect. Um, dare we? Uh, it's funny. I'm so used to. I think I mentioned it before. I wrote Flash for many, many years, and of course, the obsession there is always with performance and frame rates. So I can't help that thing of being scared of adding too many things, but the frame rates are looking good. I'm wondering if we should add another one now. Maybe would it be overkill to have a little fiery trowel on the missile? I don't know, but I do like the idea of one firing too on the gun, um, or the ship, I should say. As it goes up. I really would like to now my export from Blender for the 3D ship graphic that I have because I was thinking about this in the week. See what you will think about this. We have our list of features that we discussed last time and ideas, but even though you're looking top down on a 3D, you'd be looking top down on a 3D ship. And I was thinking, as we have it move left and right because it's a 3D model, having it tilt would just be a nice little effect so that you can see it, doing its thing. Let me know what you think. Still got to build out the ship, and I should do a stream on that. But that's what I'm thinking. Just because it's top down doesn't mean we can't have 3D looking stuff, right? So I may become obsessed with playing with particles this week now. So new file. Let's do this. We're gonna. So we'll do a file one. We'll call this launch missile for now, at least. Right. If using SpriteKit, it would have to be done as an animation. SpriteKit, as far as I know, does not support Z-axis. Yeah, that's kind of what I had in mind. I did one on a different technology. I can't remember what it was. A few years ago now, but that was basically it. It wasn't like actually tilting the ship, if you can imagine, in a 3D space. It was more like a pre-rendered, little tweak to the left, tweak to the right, and then back to the center, and it would play like that section of the animation. Does that make sense? So it was kind of I guess an animated sprite is really what it was, what we would call it. But that was kind of what was going on there, right? Yeah. Okay. Great. Thank you. I actually almost just want this as the missile exhaust because it just looks great like that, doesn't it? You know what? I think that's that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to rename this to rocket exhaust. We'll come back and tweak this again, but I'm all about adding these now. Okay, so rocket exhaust. This one, of course, is a permanent fixture for the rocket, right? So rocket exhaust equal SK emitter node, file named whatever I called it, rocket exhaust, right? Yeah. Rocket exhaust. Before I go any further, let me clean this up. Can't leave those files laying around. Okay. Rocket exhaust dot position, thanks to your wonderful code again, thank you, is going to be the rocket dot position. We will have to tweak it, of course, and rotate it. It's going to look a bit weird. Otherwise, it'll look like the rocket's on fire. Rocket exhaust position equals, let's do 9. I'm not sure if, are these all, they must be a global Z stack, right? Yes. If let is just a fancy way of doing an optional. However, if it can't find the file, it won't crash your app. It'll just skip it. Yeah, you're quite right. That really is the way we should do it. If lets, for those of you who don't know in Swift, an if let is basically saying, hey, look, if this is unwrap this, if it has a value, go ahead. Otherwise, don't, but don't die. Another way you do it now is you'll see a lot of people using a guard statement to check a value, right? And what the guard does is basically what you can do is it does things ahead of time. So you can say guard whatever, and if the situation fails, it'll kill it there and won't even try and run the code. So you don't have to write all of the all of the statements, or you'll see them a lot with nested. So if you're going to check a bunch of if statements, if situation 1, yes, if situation 2, so on and so on, you can do guards are a good way to simplify that and just check ahead of time, do I have everything I need to run this code? And if I don't even bother running it. Thank you. Yeah, if let is a great way to do it. You should never force unwrap, although we do if we admit it, right? But you can do, I feel like you can force unwrap in certain situations when you absolutely know it's going to be okay, but don't do it as much. Try not to do it as much as you can. Let's put it that way. Always go the other route. All right, so we've got our rocket exhaust there. We're going to add the child node, which is going to be our rocket exhaust. And let's just run this where we're at, because I'm sure the position is going to be wrong for the exhaust. Or not even exist. Okay. Did I name it right? The image set name Spark is used by multiple image sets. The image set name Bokeh is used by, where did that come from? All right, well, we'll look at that at some point. Rocket exhaust. Did you call the function? No, I didn't. Well done. You mean you have to write a function and call it? What's up with that? Thank you. Now this one is going to be up here on the rocket. We're going to add it there. Ooh, actually, This one's going to be interesting. So we're gonna rocket exhaust there. We may, well, I'll have to remove it here. We'll have to see. Let's see how this works. Since it's a child, I'm hoping it'll take care of itself. Oh, wait, did I not attach it as a child? I don't think I did, no. I think I got something wrong. Ooh, do I need... Hold on, did I get into something out of order here? Oh, add it to the scene. And then... Well, I mean, we actually could put it in here, but I'm worried. Oh, okay. I don't think that's the problem right now. No. Actually, I really don't want to have it in there. Since the rocket's been added to the scene here, rocket exhaust, blah, 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 rocket, add the child, rocket exhaust. Oh, wait, here's an idea. You could add an argument to function to take an SK node and pass the rocket to the function, then add it to the rocket. Do you mind if I write something for you? Please feel free. I'd like, I was wondering because I'm thinking later on when we have power-ups and everything else, we may want this to be a little more generic, right? So we could, do it this way. So please, feel free. Yeah, write up anything you want. Let's call this parent node. All right, and then instead of that, we'll do parent node to attach it there, and then up here, we're going to want to add rocket. Oh, sorry. Just fill it in for me. Bad habits, I know. Probably could do the same one for this one here to generically attach an explosion anywhere we wanted. I think I got this wrong here somewhere. Let's just set it to 10. I don't think that's got anything to do with it. No. While that's doing that though, let's set this one up the same. SK node, blah, 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 parent node. And parent node is gonna be the attacker in this case. Okay, so that one's good. My score was terrible, but that one's good. That makes that nice generic. Oh, let's go over here. Oops, I can't select text. There we go. Then when you call it add exhaust node rocket. All right, let's give it a go. Do you like this pair programming we got going on here? Thank you. Oh, whoops. I'm just, there we go. Then might need to change SK node to SK sprite node. Well, you know, funny enough though, SK node worked up here just fine. Let's try it as it is, right? So add exhaust. Oh, nice. Okay, Z position +1. So we're directly above our parent. All right, let's do it. Rocket. Add exhaust, and we're going to say rocket. Build successful. Not seeing it though. See, I wonder if I feel like for whatever reason it's. Let's get rid of my one there. Let's not confuse myself. Go with this one. Incoming node, yeah, get its position. Set the one for this. And then add this. Can you try calling the function indeed move? Right? Well, oh, okay. So you're suggesting not doing this here. And we probably could, right? As long as we do it after. As long as we do it after we've added the rocket, that should be fine, right? Because we've got our rocket will have been set up. We'll have everything we need in theory. No. You know what? Before we go any further, we should make sure we are calling it, right? Yeah. Okay. Just wanted to be sure. Let's put that there though. Might need to adjust the Z position. Shouldn't make a difference. Yeah. I mean, if we just set a number for now, right? Like, I don't know, 100, right? I mean, that's way clear of everything else. Get rid of that. I don't think that's it. I think what you got looks sensible. Okay, you know what? Just in case it's not something to do with that, just on the off chance, let's set the position to what is it? Is it a float? I can't remember. I think it's a float, right? Oh, actually, you know what? Let's just literally hard code this. Right, so let's just say an x of 10. Let's make sure it's actually making it on the screen. And a y of, no, 100. Just something so that we actually see it on the screen, right? Oh. Wasn't expecting that. Well, it's doing the right thing. 0, 0 would be relative to the parent, right? So maybe that is okay. Hang on. We could just do it. So I don't know why it doesn't like the, maybe because he's trying to get the, oh, sorry. I'm curious. I'm going to go crazy here and put 100. Yeah, I thought I had the wrong one. 20. It's odd. It is odd, right? Because even though it's relative to the parent, we're saying, no, it's not, right? Think about it. Actually, it is odd, but makes sense because 0, 0 would be 0, 0 relative to the parent. So if we set the x and y of the exhaust to the parent, and the parent is 100, 100, the exhaust is now 100, 100 offset from the parent. Does that make sense? I guess that's what's going on there. All right. Now we do need to rotate it. Exhaust. Oh, I don't want to zero. Actually, I don't even need to rotate it, right? Why don't I just change it in the file? Yes, you don't need to set a position when adding to a parent. My bad. No problem. Hey, it didn't, it's one of those as we think about it and then we go, oh yeah, right? Live and learn. That's the whole thing with this. I wasn't kidding when I said I hadn't done SpriteKit. Okay, so this, is there a rotation? Yeah, okay, rotation 180. Oh, wait, maybe that's not what I'm thinking it is. Why don't we just reverse position? Da, da, da. Okay, there you go. So we want minus 90. We do want to down the width now, so for see the X and the Y, I don't see a width and a, all right, well, before we go any further, let's get a win, right? Do this. All right, we got our little thing going on. I think we want to, oh, no. Let's bring down the, it's a little big, so problem with that is we lose the effect. It's not as cool that way, right? Gotta be a thing in here for... Okay. 0.2. Better. I still want to get the width down though. That's what I'm not understanding and what I'm missing here. There must be something in here somewhere. Ah, interesting. Actually, I kind of like it like that. Angle, range, I think. Okay. No. Oh, that's cool. Look at that. It's got like a 3D rotation thing going on. Not what I wanted, but that's cool. Bring this down. I'm just playing with the numbers here because now we're getting some interesting effects. All right. Bring the speed down though. I feel like we're getting now. Really thought that scale would have done it, right? Position range. Position. Where do you see that? There's position range. That's our angle to get our angle there. Adjust the X. Okay. All right. 10. Oh, thank you. Weird. What a weird thing to name that. Okay. 5. Oh. 3, 2, 1. All right. Let's try that. Hey. All right. Sweet. Look at this. This is awesome. And this is all thanks to you, my own treachery. Thank you. You're awesome. I definitely got to get around to fixing the controls on this. How cool is this? This is so cool. Oh, come on. Come on. I got to get 1 point. Nope. Ah. I feel like I got to get a plus score now. Okay, so that's cool. Thank you so much. You're awesome. What do we think? I think the next step now, see, now we got these cool particle effects going on. I think we got to make the graphics look better, right? So I think the next thing to do has to be the alien spacecraft look better, the gun look better, and the rocket look better, and the background. I'm actually wondering, what do we think? Originally, I was going to have some kind of a static, but I thought about a static and background, and I thought, no, I want a moving one. Now I'm wondering if we just use a particle emitter to generate star type effects as the moving background to give us the illusion of moving forward. What do you think? Don't want to kill the frame rates, but I mean, we're not losing six. All right, granted, I'm running it on my Mac, but we ain't losing 60 frames. Use particle for stars? Yeah, should we do that? Let's do that. I feel like we're doing so good with the particle stuff here today. And definitely we should do some more. All right, so let's add a new file. We're going to call this what do we think? Snow or Spark? Oh, Snow probably has a pre-built thing, right? Let's start with the Spark. Let's see. We'll call this Starfield. All right. So taking what we know, we don't want anywhere near as much as that, but we do want a reasonable amount. Lifetime of 1, let's leave it at that. We want we basically just need it to fall down the screen is what we're going for. So let's make it smaller. Starting range of 0.1. I'm just playing with numbers here to see. Ooh, wow, that is a really kind of weird, freaky, like 3D effect. That's cool. Don't want any rotation, but I do want gravity essentially. I'm gonna set all the. Ooh. Okay, so minus 90. It's you know what? Just sitting playing with these particle things is fun. Um, let's. I want to slow them down, so I'm gonna set this to 1,000. Okay, and then I've got to change the birth rate. Let's have a maximum of. I might have too many. I don't want this thing going nuts. Okay, now I don't want it to die off so quickly. So that one? Nope, my bad. Oh, that's weird. Okay. I basically don't want them to die. I think I may just be randomly typing in the wrong numbers here. Let me go backwards. No, that was not what I wanted. That's kind of a cool. Okay. Needed to go longer. What? Okay. Let's set the color. Maybe have it a little less obvious like that. I feel like the scaling is a little too much still. All right. Let's add star field, node, sk node. Let's save ourselves some type in here. Blah, 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 blah. This one is Starfield, I think I called it. Starfield. I'm going to set the position to 0 and oh wait, 0, 0 is the bottom left corner if I remember rightly. Yeah. Okay, so actually we don't want that. I'm going to change those numbers. We're going to have that scale, that position change with the view, because we're not going to add it. We'll add it as a child to the view here, right? So we're going to be sending in the view, and then we're going to say, all right. So stars, you know, sorry. Stars. And I know I could just do the refactoring thing, but for the sake of just typing stars 4 times. But I think we're going to want this way in the background. So I'm going to set it to -100. Okay. Oh, sorry. What did I do? Let's just set it to a -100. Cannot find exhausting scope. Of course you can't, because I put the wrong thing. Let's add our star field. Did move. Let's make this the very first thing. And it's going to be the view. It's not going to like that. I'm almost certain it's not going to like that. Yeah, because that is not an SK node. wonder if there's a value to me adding an empty SK node and then attaching the background emitter to that in case we want to add stuff later on to the background and do some fancy stuff with it. You can just add that to the scene itself. Don't need to add an argument. Yeah, okay, let's go with that for now. I think we'll just do that. I have some thoughts for some fancy 3D weirdness later on, but certain things, but I'm not sure yet. I'm just having a brain seize for a second. Give me a second. I'm wondering if I want this one to actually return, because actually I don't even need to, you know what? I think I'm gonna want this later on, so I think it makes sense to add an empty node and attach it to that, because I got a feeling later on I may want to mess with this a little. So background, in this case sprite node, but I basically just want an empty one. I wonder if I can do that and have an empty there. Add star field there. You know what? Yeah, I think that's what I'm going to do. So I actually will send in the node of whatever I just called it, background, right? But it won't have a width and a height at the moment. I feel like putting in the code here is going to be the wrong thing in the end, but bear with me for now as we Z position is going to be minus 100. This one actually down here doesn't really matter, I don't think, for this. And we need to set the width and the height. So background, my brain has gone completely dead. Hang on. Scale, that's the one. This may throw off. No, it shouldn't throw off the particle effects. No. I just want the size of the view, really, right? So actually, it's the size of the scene. So it's going to be scene dot size. It's not going to be that easy, right? Never is. Yeah. Background dot size. No. Ed Lopez 83, thank you so much for the follow. I appreciate it. Please feel free to ask any questions in the chat room. We're just having a ball here with some particle effects today. Okay, background dot scale sets the X scale and Y scale properties of the node. Okay, well, can I just not say Why can't I just set it to float, right? So, and the, oh, sorry. The scale should be, can I just not do scene? Feel like I'm doing this wrong. My brain, how long? My brain is going completely dead an hour and a half into this. We were doing so well. I need to make me some more coffee is what I need to do. Okay, actually, so hold on. Before I go any further, I feel like I'm chasing the wrong thing here. Give me 1 second. I'm going to borrow these 2 lines because I do still need to set the position. Add an SK node instead. That way you don't have to set the size or anything. Oh, okay. So you're actually proposing making the background an SK node, right? I think that's what you're proposing. Let me walk backwards to walk forwards. Starfield. We had the Starfield. Going to expect an SK node. Fine, we've got one. We're telling it the background. Set it to 0, 0 of the parent, which is the background. Do that. Add the stars. Didn't get the name wrong, did I? No. Starfield, right? Yeah. May not even need that. Okay. So now I think we got to do is the 0, 0. So I get it. What's going on here actually? If I've set this to just going to prove my theory. Hang on. Fully prove my theory. No. I think it's rendering off screen at the moment actually is what's happening. I could be wrong. I think this is right. I think it's all I've got at the moment that's wrong is my positioning, right? So I'm going to set to 0, which centers it on the parent, which is the background node. But the background node doesn't actually have anything in it right now. So bear with me, right? Background. Our background is an empty SK node, right? So I think what we're going to do here is we're going to add this. But before we do that, I think what I need here is background.position. And I don't think that's going to work. That seems too easy. Yeah. Canonical value of type CG point. Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay. So we need to put a CG point, and we will just put in some values for right now. Just moving it up in from the bottom left corner, in theory. If I don't screw up the numbers, which I did. Canonical value of non-function type CG point. What? What's wrong with this? What's wrong with, did I put the wrong one? Wait. Yeah, I messed this up. Hang on. Sorry. Simple things fail me. Okay. But I don't see. Let's make for the time being, I'm going to make my star field more obvious in case I'm just completely not seeing it for stupid reasons. So we're going to set the alpha to 1. Right? Let's try it again. It should really be down around here somewhere, but we should be seeing it, but we're not. What stupidly obvious thing have I not done here? Background is an SK node. I set the background position. You know what? I think it's... Let's just put in some random numbers. Maybe it just doesn't have any size. Is it that simple? No. To get... Of course it is. I don't think it has any size at the moment. I think that's the problem. Can't set the scale of 0. I mean, if you set the scale of 0 to 2, well, it's still 0 times 2, which is, you know. Halox, is it Halox? Hello, how are you? What's up? How's it going? SK node does not have any properties. It's only a point on the... Oh. Well. All right, hang on. But if it doesn't have any properties, I mean, it's just an empty node of nothing, even though we're trying to... The emitter size will still work in the emitter settings. Okay, great. That answers what I was about to say. Thank you. I'm well. What are we building? We are building... We're having some fun with SpriteKit. We've been building this over a few streams. We're sort of taking the idea of a game here that's evolved over time and gradually building parts to go with it. So the idea is, you can see we've got very simple graphics right now, and we've got what eventually will be a ship firing a rocket, right? And then the rocket is gonna, hopefully, you know, you're gonna move it around, hit the spacecraft. Today we added the particle effects for when you hit the spacecraft and it explodes like that. And we've added the fire effect to the rocket. And what I'm doing right now is working to generate a star field for the background. So that's what we're doing today. This is something we're definitely progressing over time. We have lots of ideas to put in there. It's kind of a community effort within the chat room. So hopefully that explains it. and in theory, it'll work on all of them. Space Invader, yeah. In fact, the original idea was, so the whole premise of this was, um, I've built mobile apps, but I've never built a SpriteKit based game. And I thought, well, let's do that. And the original Space Invaders, right, was kind of the idea that I thought, well, that's a pretty well known formula, right, and adaptable. And to take that, and then as I started building it out over the streams with the help and conversations with everyone in the chat rooms, we've gradually been adapting it into a more interesting approach, right? So what you're seeing is early stages, right? Obviously, there's only one alien at the moment. You shoot them, they get destroyed, and another one randomly appears. Eventually, there'll be more than one alien, and we're going to do power-ups and all these other things that go with it. But so that not only I can learn SpriteKit, but everyone else, we're sort of building this up over time. How does the background get made? Is it just a GIF or a video, or do you program out the stars? It's on the background. What it is it's actually an emitter of particle effects. We've got 3 going on. So this really small one right here is the rocket. So they're not pre-rendered, they're generated in real time. We have this one, which is our explosion, right? And this one, this star field, so we build it by setting these variables over here. And what I've essentially done is created, it's essentially the same as these particles, right? It generates the particles, but in this, because of the settings here, the particles are floating down the screen in one direction to give the illusion of a star field moving in the background, but it's not pre-rendered. It's being rendered in real time, right? Which also gives the advantage of being able to manipulate these, the way things look, they move, and everything else, so in real time as well. So for example, let's say that you have a power-up where you hit a button and the ship speeds up, right? Well, this way we can programmatically adjust the speed of the falling stars to make you see that the ship is speeding up, and the background will move quicker. Does that make sense? So nothing you see here is pre-rendered except these, I'll show you here, these very, very simple graphics that we've got for a rocket and that at the moment, right? Everything else is being rendered in real time, giving us the ability to change things on the fly in code depending on the situation within the game, right? That's cool. You've never touched SpriteKit. Yeah, I never had touched SpriteKit either before all this stuff. So it is cool. And that is the whole sort of premise of this, right? I do 2 streams, just so you know. We've got this one, which is our midweek kind of gaming fun. And then another one where I'm working on Mac apps and iOS apps and so on. But I wanted to have something just totally dedicated to gaming creation, if you like, within SpriteKit, SceneKit, and all that stuff. So that's what we're doing here. So please feel free to ask questions. I'm very new at SpriteKit. That's the whole point of me doing this. Thankfully, there's some very smart people in the chat room, like my own Treachery, who knows about SpriteKit, has walked me through the particle stuff today, for which I am immensely grateful. And always immensely grateful to everybody in the chat room. I think I followed you from Coco Type stream. Thank you for that. I'll let Coco Type know. I love watching Coco Type stream. We often hang out in each other's streams, and in fact, we've even solved each other's problems over time as well. So I'll let him know, because his stream is fantastic. And thank you to Coco Type, who's having a bit of a bad internet day. So that's where we're at. That's what we're doing here. We're just having a lot of fun with this. I got my star field. Going back to the star field here. So my own Treachery says it's only a point on the screen. The emitter size will change. Might be the anchor point of the node. Oh, okay. Will this be open source or more of a community input application? I really have not thought about that too much. This is kind of version 2. Version 1, I did everything in a view controller, hit some snags, went back, rewrote exactly the same thing. In this, I don't know. It's tempting to go either way. This is all, this started out as a very simple thing that I thought would take a couple of streams and be done. Thankfully, to everybody in the chat room and the ideas, we have a feature list, which I really should put up somewhere. Um, and, we now have a feature list that we're going to build this out even more. And it's definitely becoming more than was intended. But I don't know. I haven't figured out yet what I want to do. My initial gut reaction is that as we do this, I should put it up in a repo, open source it, and anyone watching the stream can go and grab it and do that. That's kind of one avenue. Another avenue is, to build this thing out and put it on the store. I'm not really sure. I'm a Swift UI guy myself. So when Kokotog is doing stuff in UIKit, I get lost. I understand. I use UIKit for the longest time, still do in the apps, proper apps. I say proper apps, the apps for my day job. But I'm a big Swift UI guy as well. I've been embracing it over time since it came out. Same with Swift, since that came out in 2014. So I am doing a lot of Swift UI more than UIKit, not because I have anything against UIKit, but I've been doing that for a long time. And with such interest from so many people in Swift UI, again, I thought, well, I've done lots of streams on Swift UI at this point because people have questions. Maybe you have questions. And I want to try and help answer those. And I've also hit a lot of problems with Swift UI because it is so new that I want to put those problems out there and solve those solutions for people. And also to say on streams, look, these are the problems I'm having. We're going to work through them live on the stream. It may be terrible, and I have weeks where stuff just doesn't work right. But I want you all to learn from it as much as I learn from it. And it's kind of that whole community aspect, which is the whole point of compileswift.com to begin with, by the way. I'm in the process of completely refactoring a Swift UI app and learning how to flex and bring in UIKit pieces. Simply because UIKit allows for custom map annotations with clustering, Swift UI doesn't. That's very interesting because I've actually been going the other way, right? I have apps with UIKit and I'm introducing Swift UI elements over time, as much as I'm also building new Swift UI apps as well. And thankfully for all of us, that interplay between being able to use UIKit and Swift UI apps and vice versa was a very smart move from Apple. I think it greatly helps us, doesn't it? Right? Because we don't have to completely jump ship. We can do bits of both and move over time. I have an app that is completely storyboard driven with auto constraints and all of those nightmares, a lot of auto constraints. And I want to see that get moved over to Swift UI over time to simplify a lot of the view and bring back performance as well. So you're in the right company because that is kind of one of the things we do here. So yeah. Storyboards, I know, right? Hey, it's always that thing. I've got storyboards. So I've got an app that has code-driven views, storyboard views, and now it's bringing in parts of Swift UI views. I was like, hey, we should just have the entire nightmare in one app. I think Swift UI is wonderful, but it's not replacing UIKit anytime soon. Absolutely. If nothing else, if you work for a company or you make an app for a company or something like that, you know how it goes. We all know the story. You never get, if you was to say, oh, look, we should go, I want to rewrite the app for us in this thing. No, you never get the time and the budget for that. So yes, things like this will stick around forever. I'm still working with Objective-C apps. I mean, it goes from, I've got all the nightmare scenarios in one, but I like the challenge of that because it requires you to understand truly what an app is doing and then port that or convert it to the relevant technology, right? I think that's a big part of development and where we're at with that. Okay, let's get with this game. I really want to get this background in here today. So you think it's the anchor point? My own treasury is our in-house SpriteKit and particle emitter genius who's educating me today, for which I'm again immensely grateful. I cannot say it enough. Um, it's definitely a learning experience today, but I'm really pleasantly surprised how well this has been going and how easy they are. So you think when you say anchor point, my own treachery, you have not added background to the scene. So we add the star field. Oh, you're right. See, I just wanted to give you time to think about it. We added the sprite emitter to the background, but we never actually added the background. Well, I say we. I didn't do it. I'm sure the rest of you were like, yeah, he'll get it in a minute. I don't want to tell him and make him look like an idiot. We'll just let him look like an idiot. Okay, so what we should do here then is add the child node, right? So we need to add background. If this just starts working, then won't that be embarrassing for me, right? Well, isn't that embarrassing for me? Okay, so it's there. We got to do some work here though, because it's not quite working the way we want. And I should, for those of you watching, I should flat up say, look, the whole point of, another big point of this stream is I want you all to understand that even though I've been coding for, umpty diddly years, and you can tell I'm old, screwing up in public, don't be afraid to do it, right? If you do everything behind a closed wall in a room by yourself, not only do you not have the benefit of the amazing chat room here with everybody and this interactivity, but it's okay, right? I mean, we should all just admit, look, we all use Stack Overflow, we all copy and paste, we all screw things up. That's part of the process. It's as simple as that. Never be afraid to screw up in public. All my developers that work for me, I tell them, look, I don't have all the answers. We're a team. We work on it together, and that's what it's about. Don't be afraid to screw up, because hopefully one of your teammates or some awesome people in the chat room are going to help you work through it, and maybe you can help someone else work through their problems as well. Another first time chat. I got to catch up here on the chat. Sorry. Is the anchor point the center point of the background emitter sprite, or is it something else? So the sprite emitter is set on the 0, 0 location of its parent, which is the background. The background is an empty node. Does that make sense? Right? So that's that. Ray Smooth 12. You should just do leak code instead of side projects. Hey, Ray Smooth, thank you. Thank you for joining us. I wish I was that good. I think there's a difference between, I hope my code is functional. Is my code the best? I don't know. No, probably not. The way that I approach things, just so you all know, is if I'm doing something new like this with SpriteKit, I will very much long form the code to make sure that my brain understands it, and then go back and make it, quote, better, good code, right? I'm not a fan of early optimization of code if you're doing something you've never done before, because if you don't do it for a couple of weeks and you have Christmas, which is what's happening now, and then you come back to it and you look at it and you're like, I don't remember what that is. So I'm just being upfront there. I write long form code until I've got it down and we've got what we wanted, and then go back and optimize. Yeah, that makes sense. Great, thank you. So that, anyway, sorry, that's where I'm at with that. You have not added the background, so my own treachery, we got that now. Here's the thing. I'm curious about something. If you said a custom background color, I'm just going to pick one. Hey, we got Christmas, white snow on red. Man, where was this 2 weeks ago? What I was curious about, if I run this, I'll explain if it does what I'm hoping for. No, it doesn't. Okay. What I was hoping for is that we would see the red background, so we could see the dimensions of that background SK node. Does that make sense? That's something I do when I'm designing stuff sometimes, especially when I'm doing web work with CSS. I'll put in some really terrible colors so I can see the frame space, you know, the space it's taking up on the screen. So if you ever see me do that, that's what's going on there. It's just the way I've always done it for, I don't know, whatever, the 20, 30 some years of development at this point. It's just a habit I can't kick. But interestingly, even though there's a background color there, there there is no, it's just the background color here on the view, I guess. So I was wondering if that says the background color of the image, but it doesn't. All right, and by the way, if I remember this correctly, and please correct me if I'm wrong, 0, 0 in a SpriteKit is this corner here. It's the bottom left corner, right? And you work up and across. It's not the top corner down. Mario Treachery says, SK node doesn't have background properties, so it cannot inherit it. Got it. Thank you. I guess if you wanted one, you'd have to create something and attach it, right? Yeah, just add the ignore edges. Just add the ignore edges or. Yeah, okay. They're at this point, you know, I confuse myself on a daily basis. On any given day, I'm writing JavaScript, Swift, Objective-C, HTML, and you know, after a while, it all gets a bit much and you forget. Like one week, I was writing some Swift, nothing was happening, and then I realized that I was writing JavaScript functions, and I was like, oh yeah, right. So if you ever see me open up a Swift file and I actually type like function, you know I've been doing JavaScript that day. A man of many languages, not because he wants to, he just doesn't have a choice. Just write things in one language, I'd probably be better at stuff. But because I have to switch hats so often for so many different things, it's crazy. You know, oh, and I've also GraphQL and SQL, so, or SQL, however you want to pronounce it. But don't even go there on core data. Let's not talk about core data. I dabbled in PHP for a while. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, me too. And CSS, but that's it. I try to avoid doing PHP, but I do have a website that's WordPress based with PHP. I don't. It's just not something I've ever liked. But I don't know. Let's not go there. But I don't know if you asked me. I don't know which is worse, PHP or JavaScript. Once you get into this in JavaScript, it's a whole nightmare. All right, so the star field, so it's 0, 0 for this. I think the problem is still my background up here is not scaling out the way it should, right? Let's pull this up. As I'm looking at it, the highest level is about here. And it goes to about here. So it's about that point there, right? So how do we overcome this? We've got to do something with the background, right? We've got to, I understand that it's not got properties, but this is clearly not right, right? So we should be at the node. So can I not just set it to a CG point or float? Right? I think I tried this before and it didn't work, right? Yeah. Got some errors here. There has to be something I got to set here. I dabbled in PHP for. Oh yeah. There's so many languages. And I'm toying with the idea of doing some streams using Vapor, which, if you don't know what that is, Vapor is a very popular framework for server-side Swift to deliver serve-up websites. So I dabbled with it, but not really got into it too much. I know some folks who use it and are really good at it. I don't know. We'll see. And I'll probably, it always gives me good stuff to talk about on the podcast. If you don't know, compileswift.com is my home for everything Swift. And there's a podcast there as well, which I try to get out on a weekly basis. And I'm sure I'll have a lot to say about SpriteKit this week. All right, so how do I set? Why is my, let's do this. Let's take this back. All right, let's make the code happy. Let's go back into our star field here. Is it something I set here? I don't know. Like, you know what? I guess what I could do, actually. Let's go down here. I'm going to run this. Look in here. So in the view, I'm looking for my back. There it is. Background. Vapor was fun when I dabbled in it. I was far too early in my development life to understand it. Only a year or so into learning. Hey, you know what? It's great. You don't have all the baggage of all of the other languages from years gone by that none of us use anymore. So great. But less baggage. I think that's awesome. I'm glad you liked Vapor. I tried a couple of the others. Didn't feel at home with them. Plus, it's so much easier to spin up a server with Vapor now. All right, so here is our background node. It should have. There's our emitter node with all of that, but I'm looking, it really is. Nothing going on in there of any help. Vapor seemed very straightforward. Great documentation, great Discord community for questions and troubleshooting. Yes. Yeah, I have not been in the Discord community for quite a while. Or maybe it was, I think it was Discord. Maybe it was Slack. I can't remember. But I really need to get back in there and bring myself up to speed with that, just for the fun of doing it. That's kind of my approach, is like, hey, I get to have, stuff that I do for work, and then I get to have this stuff, which is all the fun stuff, right? And I love doing all the fun stuff. So, still got my problem here with the background. When I add my star field down here, which is what this is, we set the position to 0, 0 of the parent, which will be the background node. Because remember, this is adding a new node, right? It's adding a child to the background. And therefore 0, 0 is really where it should be, because we learned that from up here when we did it for the rocket and we realized what was going on. I'm just curious, if I move these though. But I don't really want to have numbers in here because, again, if I change it to a different, right, let's say we run this on a different device, That's why you don't want to have specific numbers. Everything should be relative to the view, because if I change this is going to be interesting. Let's do an iPad Air and run this. This is probably going to look all very weird at the moment because it's not going to be the alien won't be putting in the right random locations because we've defined some numbers, and eventually we've got to get away from these numbers and use relative screen, right? That did move up, but if you go to a new device, exactly, yes, it may move. See, well, okay, this was a bad example because I didn't set it to run on iPad, but yeah, the problem is going to be it's not what we want, right? Let's get rid of this one. What about if we get? Hold on, I had a thought. I did add one in here, which may be something we can take advantage of. I wonder if we can do it, set it this way. That way we're saying, look, I'm not going to give you the number. I want you to get the number based on where it's at. Frame dot mid X and mid Y. Ooh. Does that change the frame of the parent or the child? Yeah, see, this is the thing, right? I think what we're doing by putting numbers in here, and correct me if I'm wrong, and maybe I've misunderstood, but what we learned earlier was these are offset numbers, right? So these need to be 0 to have a 0 offset, and we really should set the background node, the parent node, to be the position. Otherwise, we've got a background here and we're just offsetting against it. Makes sense? And that just doesn't seem right at all. It grabs the frame of the scene. Okay. All right, so I think by changing these numbers here, we're offsetting, which may visually solve the problem, but actually is making things worse in the long run. That's just what I'm thinking. If I'm wrong, let me know, and we'll work through it. But I think, right, we add the background here. So are you suggesting background? Well, but I thought we said we couldn't set these. These are only readable. Frame drop. Ooh, mid X. Well, you know what? It didn't complain. I thought for sure it was going to complain. Let's try it. Oh, let's not do it on the iPad. I think it's mostly covering the area, but I think what we need to do now is adjust this actually, because I think that this may be the problem, because if I put that at 500, see, that's the width. I think these properties here, the position range, need to be dynamically set over here as well to change to the size, right? So again, allowing for multiple screens. So I think if I'm got this right, the stars dot position range, right? Position range. Hold on though. Here I set an X and a Y, but I'm not sure what it's going to want there. Oh, it's a CG vector. Okay. Let's try this. Frame. Maybe we get lucky. Gosh, I'd love us to get lucky. Yeah, no. Okay. I think we got too many numbers tripping over themselves now. Okay. All right. Thank you, my own treachery, though. We are again in your debt. You know, can I do this? If I really blow that up, there we go. Awesome. So I've just scaled it up, essentially, right? The position range, I've made it double. So get the what I thought was the view and double. Oh, hey, I even scored some points. Okay. Awesome. Mid X and mid Y gets the center of the frame. Oh, of course. Why that didn't even occur to me. I want if you want the emitter to dynamically update, you'll need to use frame size width times 2 because yes, that actually would be better. Yeah, I like that even more. Let's do that. Frame size width. I don't, let's do it without the scaling first of all, right? Without doubling it, just to see what we get. Because where the anchor point is, you're going to multiply by 2 because it'll be in the middle, right? Although, that's working out nicely. I think that may even be working out a little better. And we can still control things from our particles. Right? So if I go over to the star field and let's mess this around a bit. Remember how I was saying about how, like, if you want to simulate or not simulate, but make it look like the ship is speeding up, we can just change this speed, right? So that's what we'll do there. But I feel like maybe they want to just be a little bit bigger. Don't want them to look like snowflakes. What do you think? Too big? Too busy? Too many? Too distracting? Feels like it is going a little quickly, right? Too fast. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too. Yeah. Speed up would look cool with it faster and more narrow, if that makes sense. Yes, yeah, like the warp effect, right? Yeah. And that's what I'm thinking. It's like at some point we may have like I say, we've got plans for power-ups and multiple aliens and all this kind of stuff. So I can very much see a need to want to be able to tweak that background. Again, keeping it live like this instead of pre-rendered makes that totally doable, right? Okay. And I'm also thinking, right? I mean, every so often, you want to see like a random something. Maybe we have a random asteroid. Maybe we have a random planet. And again, we can just dynamically add that one graphic every few minutes or something, and it scrolls by and goes away and helps with the whole depth and illusion and all that kind of stuff. The warp effect would be cool to end around with a warp speed sort of thing. Right. That's exactly what kind of thing I was thinking. Yeah. So that's why I like the live rendering like this. And as you can see, we're still clocking up 60 frames. We're not hurting it. The background is too fast. All right. Yeah, I agree with all of you. Let's go back here. Let's change it. 50. Still looks a little fast, right? 25. And then we're probably going to want to have less particles. Feels a little too busy to be a star field, especially if we have the randomly adding in. By the way, it's moving around on the screen because I'm accidentally tapping with the touchpad. So that's what's going on there. Okay. So let's do this. Let's bring it down just slowly. Slowly start to tweak all of this. But what we shouldn't have, we don't really want them to fade out like that. I think that's part of the problem is we need them to stay consistent as they go through the scene, right? I think that'll help with the... I may be getting the numbers wrong here, so hold on. Oh, sorry. That was my bad. The fading is throwing it off. That's what I'm thinking too. Yeah, it looks like snowflakes. Yeah, if I needed snow, nailed it. I'm in Texas. I don't know what snow is. Now, my home country back in England, totally know what snow is. Yeah. All right, let's stop this fading. Oh, there's your snow. All right, let's see. So I gotta fix this. How am I accidentally did this earlier on, right? The alpha range. Was it this? Oh, no, that's the okay. Sorry. That's the random value there. Okay. And I may actually have too much now overall. Let's knock that back a little. Is that making it live longer? Can't tell. I think it is. I gotta watch like one little dot. It's kind of hard to focus on just one. Now, the other thing I think that's throwing it off, we kind of need them all to generate at the top of the screen. We don't want them generating in the middle of the screen. And I wonder if that's... By the way, in case you wondered, yes, you can use just about any of my assets, that any asset that I've got in there for that. So like there's the rocket, right? Which kind of actually makes for a great debris field. They're staying up longer for sure. I would run it in the simulator because it may look different with the busyness of the actual game going. Yes, yeah, I agree. Um, go back to our Spark. Okay, let's run this. They need to generate, and maybe I'm going about this wrong, but um, don't really want them to generate in mid scene. You really want it to be at the top. I think if we left this going forever, that's going to get busier and busier and busier. So let's tweak that, right? We need a maximum here. Let's run that again. So no more than 50. Much better, I think. Maybe a fraction too sparse, but you don't really notice them fading in and fading out now and generating in the middle of the scene. It's not as distracting, but it's just enough to give it something going on. Looks good, right? Yeah, yeah. All right, so that's better. I think it does need a fraction more, though. Actually, look what's happening here. So letting it run here, we've lost them all because they've all died off over time, but we have a maximum that says, look, once you've generated the max, don't generate anymore, which actually is a problem. Which I believe is going to be this hold on. Sorry, this one, it is going to be the maximum, right? So let's do this. Let's crank this one back. Something really low. Run it again. It's probably still too high right now. But in theory, we shouldn't have got to let it run after there is no maximum amount that it's going to create. It'll just keep going. But I think now I'm back to the original problem. It's going to get too busy again. So I'm probably going to have to tweak and play with these numbers a lot. But I think we're very close to the effect that we wanted here. My own treasury says try lifetime 50 plus. Give it enough time to exit the screen. All right. Lifetime. You're saying for the start, right? And then what about the range? Is it? I admit I got 100 in there. I'm not sure. Range to 0, yeah. Let's try that. See, we're not quite there though, because now this is a problem, right? This constant generation is going to make it so busy over time that we really need them to not generate in the middle of the screen, just drift down and then die, right? Because as you can see, what's happening here is we're going to get like the snow buildup effect, which any other time would look awesome. I wonder if there's a way that you can say like, hey, and maybe I've just chosen the wrong type of emitter, but you know what I'm saying is you want the sort of the spark to essentially be created at the top of the screen and then go down, but I don't want one generated in the middle. Increase the speed, increase the lifetime, reduce the count, if that makes sense. Increase the speed, increase the lifetime, but reduce the count. We can try it. All right. Increase the speed. So let's double it, right? Let's just say 50. Well, actually, that's not. We go back to our original 100. Increase the lifetime, reduce the count. All right, next up, let's reduce, let's make it 100 there. And let's reduce the count. Well, the count being the birth rate, right? They'll move faster down the screen, stay on screen long enough to get through the view, and won't create so many due to the speed and count. True. Might be the bulb talking. See? Maybe for the rest of us, they're moving slow. Maybe they're moving fast for you. Let's try this. It's just this is one of those things where you get eventually, like in any game, and that you get to the point where it's like, you got to wait for it now. Actually, you know what? Before we go any further, so I think they're still generating too many, but hold on. Because one thing I keep meaning to do and I never did is, give me a second here. I'm looking for, come on, there it is. I'm looking to, I should have, originally I set this to a color so that I knew what was going on, but what I actually need this to be now is black. Right, let's just set it to black. Boom. Dark in space, you know. Go back, run it again. Okay, now with having the black in there as well, things feel a little better. Right? I almost feel like I just need to leave this to run for 30 minutes. I'm not going to put you through the pain, but I can see that it's already starting to build up a bit too much still. I don't need the build up over time. I just need it to be consistent. It's weird they're not generating from the top of the view, it seems. Yeah, I wonder if that's my fault because the emitter is stretched, right? But if I made the emitter really thin at the top, I'm assuming it'll only exist within that space, kind of like when we did the rocket flames, right? You don't think the build-up's too bad? What about if you've been playing the game for like, I don't know, 7 hours? I mean, it is staying manageable, right? What's weird now, though, to me, as I'm watching it, you'd almost think like there's not really anything going on at the top except one every so often. My own if you want, you can advance the simulation. You can. And you don't remake the emitter for the view like you did with the frame. Oh, well, you have to. If I understand the way this works correctly, you have the emitter that you've got to build here, but you can set these properties in code if that's what you mean. You can. I could be wrong. My own treachery knows way more about this than I do. I don't know if you can generate it completely from scratch. I think you've got to have something, right? Maybe you can generate it in code. I'm not sure if that would help us any, though. We'd still be stuck with having to set. We may be worse off because we'd have to set all of these numbers then in code. But if you think about it, right now our attention is focused on the background because we're talking about it. As I was playing, if I was playing this as a game, I probably wouldn't even notice because I'd hopefully be too busy playing the game to really go, wow, what an awesome background, right? So maybe we're focusing on it too much. Maybe we leave it there for now, see how things go. What do you all think? Wow, I've been streaming for 2.5 hours. It's a long one today, but boy, we have made some really amazing progress. I'm so thankful to all of you for your help and thoughts and considerations on this, and for just hanging out. Add in-space trash and stuff. Exactly. So the distractions, like I was saying, like randomly adding a planet every so often, a planet graphic that just, you know, very slowly moves through the screen and things like that, right? Your attention will be away from the background. Exactly. If you're appreciating the background that much when you're playing it, completely failed to make it an interesting game, right? Because you're basically saying, look, isn't that an awesome screensaver? All right, I really, really want to get some decent graphics now so that these don't look so terrible. Plus, I've really got a terrible score here. And I still need to update the controls so that you can, either tap and hold on the screen or drag the ship around. We have explored those options on previous streams. Coco Type was great for helping with the code on that. Kudos to him for that one, so thank you. But I think we've really got something starting to come together here. It's starting to feel a bit more like a cohesive thing, right? I think what I'm going to do, uh, boy, long stream today, but I think I'm going to leave it there for now, and then come back, revisit this. We've got the long list of features and everything else. I got to run, finish up my glass of bourbon off to bed. Yeah, Halux, thank you so much for coming and hanging out and all your questions and tips. And I'm glad you had a decent drink with it as well. Good on you. Thank you. And I think I'm going to wrap the stream there today. Thank you, everybody. We will visit this again in the middle next week. Like I say, it's our midweek sprites stuff. Try and probably do an app one this weekend. We'll see what with the whole new year and that. I may not do one on Sunday. We'll see. Keep an eye on the schedule. Compile Swift Live. Big, huge thank you to all of you this week for coming in, hanging out, offering all the advice and suggestions and fixing my terrible code. Appreciate it. Hope you have a very safe and happy new year if we don't speak again beforehand. Take care of yourselves. Thank you so much, everybody. And you're all awesome. And I hope we get together next time. I'm going to leave this here. I'll give some serious thought about whether I should open source this or not, so that you can all take this and play with it, maybe do polls and contribute or things like that. Turn this into a real community project. I got to think all of that through, but I'll be sure to let you know. Nothing's going to happen. The only stuff I do, like I say, off stream is research. That's it. Thank you, everyone. Have an awesome one. Greatly appreciate you all. Take care of yourselves. See you soon.